I'm Remi Teal and I'm here to show you the technical side of the iSimulate.
And I'm Magowan, I'm Clinical Educator in the Matter ED.
So get this double zip open and Velcro and take out, this is your main unit, and then you also have a control iPad here. So first of all, open up the back and get out your Wi-Fi router, your power bank, a spaghetti of wires, and your plug. So plug the plug in, connect your power bank using this large USB to USB-C. Like this. And then connect your Wi-Fi router using the plug with the two USB-C connectors. That's your Wi-Fi on. And we'll wait for that to actually come online. Put everything neatly away. Turn it round. Now, to turn these on, first of all, you just need to tap the screen and it comes on. Slide up and then select this orange round app here and you'll get that screen. And then here, press home to turn on. Press home to open again. Select this orange app here and you'll get this screen. Now this is your control, so you want to select control because you're controlling the simulation with this one. And you tap to connect and it will search for the Wi-Fi. This takes a couple of minutes, so just wait. If you get this and you've just plugged the Wi-Fi in, just take a little time and wait. If you want to, you can close that out and tap to connect again. But you'll probably be doing it a couple of times. There we go. So eventually your orange monitor comes up. You want to select that, connect, and then I'll hand you over to Emma.
Okay, so this is your control monitor, as Remi has said. So you want to select the monitor that you want to use, and depending on the iSimulate that you have, you may have different options here. But this one will give you a nice generic screen that you would see in most apartments. This control will give you an option to give you a walk through the scenario, which gives you an option to start straight away. You can skip it or skip always. So for the purpose of showing you this, I'm just going to skip once. So here you have all your different parameters. So you can change your parameters on the screen. You have different events here. So if you have time and you have a preset scenario, you can go through and set a new scenario. You can use some preloaded scenarios, which are here, and it varies from shock to can't intubate, can't oxygenate, cardiac arrest, and there's multiple other ones, which is fantastic. Or you can just use it and just be responsive and not have one that's essentially pre-planned or pre-written into the device. You can just have one that's pre-written that someone can control. So the way I would use it is that someone's on this control panel and then someone else is running the scenario. So for here, you can change the parameters of your observations just using the little toggle. And you can preset what you want the observations to be. And whenever they're illuminated in blue, that means that the changes haven't been sent to the system yet. They all get sent to the system once you start the scenario. So if we start it here, you will see it on the screen. But you may not want the candidates to see what's on your control panel until they start to physically do what they would do with a patient. So in the side of the monitor here, you have a 12 or 3 lead ECG. You have a SATS probe. And at the other side, you should have a blood pressure cuff, an end-tidal monitor, and additional attachment to the pads for cardiac arrest scenarios as well. So you can wait until the candidate puts this on your either simulated or real patient before they see it on the screen. And this little I button here, down at the bottom, they will not see it on the screen until you hit that. So for the purpose of this, we can assume that someone has put the 3 leads on the patient. If you want to give them a blood pressure, they actually have to hit the blood pressure monitor here on the screen. And it will give you a visual and an audible kind of prompt, so they actually have to wait and look for observations, which is excellent. And it gives them a result, the result that's on the screen here. And again, you can change that up and down as you want them to see it and send it to the machine. The same with the SpO2, you can give them parameters for that also and change it with the toggle as before. When it's in blue, you see it on your control screen, but they don't see it on the monitor until you send. And the same, you have a respiratory rate option or an end-tidal CO2. And you can stop that. Okay, some of the other additional features are that if you wanted to put the patient into cardiac arrest, you can click on the heart rate waveform picker and you can go into cardiac arrest. You can go into VF. Again, it's blue here so they don't see it on the screen, and you can send it. So the hope is they would identify that, and then again, as they apply pads and start compressions appropriately, you can hit this little button here and that will simulate on your screen CPR for the duration of your scenario or for that time. Again, if you want to stop compressions or as the candidate stops compressions, you hit the button again there and you would expect them then to identify the waveform and respond appropriately. And again, I'll take them back out of cardiac arrest. This. Hopefully. There we go. And similar to the heart rate, you can do that with every one of the observation parameters. You can kind of change it as required and send it to the screen. And again, depending on what parameters you're using or what interventions they're doing, you can give arterial blood pressures and everything. Okay.
So I'll shut things down. So if we just stop the scenario.
Oh yes. So again, when you want to stop, if you hit the stop button, it will prompt you to ask if you're sure. And yes. And afterwards, you can actually go through and have a full scenario review. So for any sort of debrief that you're doing, you can talk the candidate through step by step what they did, what the parameters were for the patient simulation and how they responded.
Okay, so once you're finished, you X out of that and then we press the home button and it goes away. We then double click that home button and slide off the top of the screen. That's all you need to do with the rest of this now. We don't turn this iPad off. Similarly here, I'm sliding up slowly from the bottom of the screen and then sliding it off the top of the screen. That might take a few goes, it can be a little fiddly. And again, you don't need to do anything else with this screen. We leave this on. Tidy away all the little bits of equipment. And then comes the really important part, making sure everything's charged. So we can unplug the Wi-Fi, we don't need this anymore. But we do need to make sure that the iPads are charged. So there's a cable coming out the back here. That's a USB-C, and that plugs into the power bank. And there's also a USB-C to lightning cable. And that charges this iPad like that. And we want to leave that all until it's charged 100%. And the way you can tell that is top right hand corner, you'll get an indicator of charge there. Same on this screen. And the power bank indicates it's been charged when all these blue lights are fully turned on. So leave it charging until it does that. And then you put it back all in the case and return it. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.